I'm HybridFoxKid and welcome back to the Blocks SMP. Today's episode we are spending entirely in Honeycomb Ridge because the previous two episodes we have been adventuring, dying and everything else in between. So I want to go back to my roots and just do a little building for today. So that's going to be good fun, we're going to get things done and Honeycomb Ridge is going to expand. So let's get started with the first build of today. So, the first project for today is going to be stationed over next to the village-empowered carrot farm, and in the previous episode I announced that I'm going to be trying to restore the entire ancient city, and to be able to do that I'm going to need a lot of wool, because you need wool to deactivate the skulk screeches, and so yeah, wool is needed, and I have a very shoddy sheep farm over the mountain here, if I just want to fly all the way over. Yes, the mountain is very 2D. It will be 3D eventually. It takes a very, very long time. So over here, I have been using this little sheep farm for pretty much the entire season. And apparently my sheep are leaking. I don't know how that happened, but it did. But yes, I've been using this farm and it's not gonna hold up. Oh yeah, that's why they're leaking. The door was open. That makes sense. But yes, I need to actually make an automatic sheep farm because doing this manually isn't going to give me enough wool. I'm going to be sitting there for a very, very long time. So yes, I thought the first thing for today's episode is to make an automatic sheep farm. These farms are really easy. I've made one before, so it's not going to be too difficult and it's going to be nice and quick and easy. And like with our horse stable, I'm going to make this house a little bit strange. So yes, like before, let's build up a base and then see how I can twist it in a strange way. So my general idea for this build is kind of like my horse stable where I have it semi-open, but instead of cutting all the windows out like this, I'm going to get the entire building and cut it dead in half and be able to walk through the side of the building. So there'll be one side here that's open and another side here that's open. So this is probably the length of one of the sides, and I'm liking it so far. We'll see how it looks by the end, and we'll see if it actually looks remotely decent. Okay, so I've got the basic structure of what the sheep farm is going to look like on the outside, and the available workspace on the inside. So what I'm planning for is 4 sheep on the floor, 4 sheep up the top, and then 4, equaling a total of 16. Yeah, that equals a total of 16, right? So we should be able to get every single color or just double up on colors we'll need, like for example, gray, cyan, and all those other colors. So what we got to do now is actually plan how I'm going to build this, because the lower floor will be easy. The upper floor is what's going to be the problem. So we got to get ourselves a bunch of glass. So essentially what I'm planning is that the glass is going to start here. The sheep is going to go here, here, here and here because it has to be symmetrical. We'll also chuck in the dirt blocks as well, and this is where the contraption's gonna start. So if I can remember this correctly, I should know how to make this. I make one every single season, so it shouldn't be anything difficult. The observer's like that with the dropper on the other side facing toward the sheep, like that, and then the redstone at the back in that shape. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this is definitely how it works. I should know this. And that's the basic layout of the sheep farm, and I've just got like a simple 2-thick wall so I can break through that when I need to like edit these or change out the sheep's color and stuff like that. The one thing I gotta do is I gotta actually change another piece of ground to grass so the sheep don't completely eat the grass and then we're null and void of things to use. So yes, I'll just make it too long just so I don't have to keep like refreshing the grass every time the sheep eats it. There we go. Now we just got to repeat it over on this side, and then comes the problem of the second story. Shouldn't be too difficult. Yeah, it shouldn't be too difficult. Even though you guys can't see it, I have finished all the modules for both sides of the sheep farm with the redstone in place and everything. We even have the collection systems. We have the lower collection system here, and the upper one's right here, so I don't have to climb up any awkward ladder. They're all right where I need them to be, which that was kind of the biggest problem with this farm, is I didn't know where I was going to put like the output, but it actually turned out rather well without too much of a hassle. So speaking of hassle, the thing we're going to have to do now is actually get the sheep in here, which is going to be easier said than done because I've kind of blocked everything off. So let's head over to where the sheep are hanging out and let's go grab a couple and try and get them over here without too much of a fuss. Okay, come on sheep, you're coming with me. You're finally getting out of this pen and going into an even smaller pen. We may have lost some sheep along the way, but we have finally got them over to the sheep farm
And now it's just a matter of breeding them up and actually getting them in there, which I have no idea how this is going to turn out. It's going to be an absolute mess.
The sheep farm is now finished with all 4 modules up and running, and yeah, every single color of sheep is in there. We have the warm colors, the cold colors, the miscellaneous colors like pink, purple and all that I'll never use, and then the shades, which is black, white and grey. So now we have every single color, and now we have all our decoration needs dealt with. So pretty much the whole reason why I made this was for the ancient city that I was decorating. So that's going to be helping our cyan and dark grey problems. So yeah, that's the whole reason why I made a sheep farm, was to make an ancient city look pretty. So yes, that is one more building in my area, all finished and complete, and we're moving on to the next thing to decorate, which is across the road. That isn't exactly built yet. We'll get onto that a little bit later, because the thing that we're building here is going to kind of disrupt the road. So I want to get this sorted first before I deal with the road and then have to take out half the road. So what we're planning on doing here is actually a lake. I like lakes, I like rivers. Rivers are really pretty, and I haven't really had any natural-like things other than trees in my base so far. Everything's been like man-made, man-structured, and all other stuff, so I don't really have any natural things. So why don't we get like a little lake going from this side of the base to that side of the base? So lake/river. So what I'm planning to do is, I don't know if I want to count an exact amount. We'll bring it 7 out, maybe a little bit further. We'll wait and see. I do want to like ring it out, and then I actually want to push it into the mountain. So all of this part of the mountain is going to be cut out, and then it's going to be like a little grove underneath the mountain. But we'll deal with the shape of the outside first, and then we'll worry about that. Okay, so I don't know how I want to do this. It's kind of a semicircle, because the rest of the circle is in there. So, there we go, something a little bit like that. It looks a little bit unnatural, it looks a little bit too even, but yeah, it'll be fine. So let's get rid of all the inside grass, and then we actually have the shape to deal with. And then we just gotta worry about doing this shape on the other side of the area, and then connecting them together and hopefully making it look decent. I now have the basic layout of the river all set up, so now what we can do is bash into the wall and break down like an opening area for where the lake is going to be set on the inside of the mountain. I'm not really sure how big I want this to be. All I know is I want it to be fairly decent size. So now we have the basic setup of the cave looking all nice and clean. And yes, I know it looks very uniform and very unnatural, so this will definitely be changed. This is just a basic shape, so I kind of know where I'm going. So yes, we have the cave open, we have the river and the lake and the other cave all the way over there, all shaped and ready. So I think it's just time to actually build the river, make it look pretty, and add the aesthetical flair. So for the first time in the episode and the first time in a bit, let's do a time lapse. So this river was never originally a part of the plan when I started out my area. What really made me want to build this was mainly wanting to do something that felt natural other than all the man-made stuff in my base. And I just like rock formation. It looks really, really nice. If it gives me an opportunity to make like a grotto or a cave, I would do it. And this is the whole reason why I built this river. I wanted to make a grotto. It looks very, very pretty. But yes, I like the stalactites, I like the grotto feel, I like the creepiness. I gotta say, it does look very, very scary, and I didn't realize that until I got halfway done, and then I was like, I can't go back now. So I just added a bunch of lights to make it look pretty. We officially have both sides of the cave finished and the river connecting it all in between, and I gotta say, it looks rather nice. The river did start off being very, very symmetrical, and I tried to change it up just a tad bit, and I kind of like how it looks semi-natural, but there's always a part of me that can't help but have it look perfect and even. But that's something I'm gonna have to get over soon, but today's not that day. I'm getting there, slowly but surely. But yes, with this being done, I gotta say the caves also look pretty nice. Look at them. They look so pretty. The only problem is they look a little bit too sharp. Yeah, they look a little bit scary. If I were to take out all the lights of this area and add like a scary music in the background, it would be like a horror cave. So yeah, depending on which way you look at it, it could be horror, it could be pretty. But yes, it does look very sharp, so don't go touching it. So what I gotta do now is actually continue the road on from this part all the way over to the other side of the river. And obviously the best thing you can do when you have a river in the way of a road is chuck a bridge there. So I don't know how I'm going to do this. I'm going to try my best, hope for the best, and see if it turns out okay. So I think I'm going to start about 6 blocks out and just go over like a slow slope. Nothing too high, nothing too massive.
just nice and cruisy, and we'll see how it turns out. The only problem is, I only just realized this as I was building this bridge, is that my road is made out of concrete powder. So I have to have this as a base underneath, otherwise everything will fall through. So, well, that's a bit of a pickle, but that's fine. We'll be fine. And another thing I just remembered while building this is between episodes I was working on the ancient city down in that direction, and I was able to get myself a pair of Swift Sneak pants. Turns out it's actually put on your pants and not your shoes. Yeah, for some reason I thought it was your shoes, but yeah, turns out it's actually an enchantment for the pants. And you can now crouch so fast. It's amazing. Look how fast I can build. This is the best thing I have ever seen in this game. This is the best enchant by far. And from now on, every new server I go in, I'm going to have to instantly raid an ancient city, because sneaking at this speed is just incredible. I don't think I will ever be able to live without it now. Now that I have it, I can never get rid of it. But yes, this is amazing. I love this enchantment with a passion. But while I was going off about the enchantment, I've actually finished the outside of the bridge, and this is what it's going to look like. I think that's as tall as it's going to have to get. Because if it's a little bit too tall, it's going to be like really like weird. And we do have another layer of block to go over this, because we still got to chuck our concrete over there. So we'll wait and see. But yes, this is what it's going to look like. I'm going to get it all done and hope it looks good afterwards. We can wait and see. Okay, I've been doing some work, and this is the best solution I could get to the different in elevation for the chain. It's not the best looking, but it does work, and hopefully once like more things come up, like more buildings and more things in this area, it'll be a little bit less obvious, but this might change halfway through the episode. We'll wait and see. I'll point it out if it definitely does. So the bridge is all done. We have built it up. It is looking nice and pretty dark down there, and mobs are definitely spawning. I've created another mob spawner. And yeah, so the road is looking good, and it's looking like a road, but now the bridge looks like it's kind of elevated out of nowhere. So what we got to do now is add a little legs to the bridge and make it look nice. The only problem is this is the one thing I struggle at the most. How do you make pretty looking legs on bridges? The people who can do that, I have mad respect for, because it's always the one thing I struggle with the most when it comes to bridges. I have no clue. There we go, a little bit of time later, and I've got my bridge up and running, and there is a child chasing me. Goodbye, child. Get out of here. I'm trying to do my recording. There we go. So we've got the bridge all done up and looking rather nice. It looks pretty okay. There's a lot of black. There is a lot of black in this bridge, and it's rather dark, so hopefully the buildings will contrast it, because there is going to be a building like right here as well. So hopefully, like this building here, it's going to contrast it really nicely. But yeah, that's my bridge. We've got a bridge. I like it. I think it's rather cool. And also, I did change it. I've already changed it. It was barely 10 minutes and I already changed it. So there's that. But yes, with that, I think this area is all done, and all of this grass and stuff like that is just going to be my basic terraforming, maybe a couple of mounds here and there, a couple of rocks. Nothing that I'd show on camera because it's just the same stuff I've done down there. So yes, that's going to be an off-camera project, and we're going to get that done by the next episode, hopefully. We can hope for it, but we'll wait and see. But for the rest of today's episode, we're going to be moving back over here, and we're going to be taking our attention back over to the snake, because he still doesn't have a tail. He has his head, he has his middle body, but yeah, he doesn't have a tail yet, which I've been meaning to get around to, but the 1.19 update came around with our server, so yeah, we got very distracted. So now, we can actually finish off the snake with the third part of him, which is his tail, and yeah, he's gonna be complete, and it's gonna look so cool. I'm so excited. So, yep, I'm gonna do it again. Another time-lapse 2 for the episode. Let's go. And with this second time-lapse of the day, I want to explain how much I want a grappling hook in Minecraft, or something where I can hang from an upper block and go down below and continue building from there, because trying to awkwardly fly around and trying to place a block from the bottom of an area just does not work, no matter how many times you try or how good of a flyer you are. It just doesn't work. I want grappling hooks. There is my reason. I rest my case. And with the time-lapse over, this is the last final part of the snake all finished, and it's looking rather nice. It actually looks really nice, and it was one of the most painful builds I have ever done. I really dislike trying to build from the top down, because Minecraft doesn't like that, not in the slightest, but I somehow made it work, and it looks really good. I like it. But yes, I gotta say, with the snake being finished, it's a little bit of a bittersweet moment, because This snake has been such a exciting part of my base. I've always wanted to do this snake. I pretty much built this entire base around this snake. This was the first thing I had planned, and then I built the base afterwards in my head. And yeah, he's officially complete. I might add some extra things around him and stuff like that as time goes on, but right now, the snake won't be extended anymore, but oh, it looks so cool. I am so happy with this one. And with another part of my base done, I'm going to leave this episode here. But just before I end off the episode, I want to quickly show off something that I did between cuts of building the snake and the previous part. I have changed this part yet again. It started out as stairs, then turned to slabs, and then turned to something completely different. Iron bars. Okay, this does look a little bit strange, but I will explain what I actually did in just a second. Let me get down here. So, how I got this to work is I just placed down 2 iron bars on top of each other, and then with the use of the armor stand book, I made it hold the object and then point it out forward, and then I had to align it. It didn't take very long. It took about 10 minutes or so for the entire thing. So yeah, it was a nice, quick, easy solution. I was originally going to armor stand chains up, connecting the chains together. It didn't look good, it didn't look right, and it was really uneven and not symmetrical, and we all know how I am about things being symmetrical, so this was the best next option, and it actually does look really good, and it's not as bulky, not as in your face, and it blends in rather well. I like it, I really, really do. So, hopefully, I definitely say this will be the last iteration of the power line. If I change it again, there is something seriously wrong. But yes, that is the last part of this episode. I just wanted to show it off again because it was becoming a bit of a running theme in this episode that I just changed it to every 10 seconds. So now it's finally done and we can put this matter to rest. But yes, I'm gonna leave this episode here. If you guys liked the video, give the video a thumbs up and maybe subscribe if you want to stick around. All good, I'll see you guys next time. See ya!